am.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Scorpio Chronicles. You already know the vibes. I'm Ari, your destiny advisor, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. This is where we talk about spirituality, consciousness, having spiritual awareness. We talk about non-sugar-coated perspective. Today's vlog is actually super special, and this vlog was highly requested. I really want to give a quick shout out to Sade. Sade has been one of my loyal subscribers, but more than just a subscriber, like just to give y'all a little backstory, in like middle school, I actually lived upstate at the time. So I lived in upstate New York in a small town called Ossining. Pretty much was forced to move up there because my brother ain't know how to act in New York. Let's put it that way. My friends, her name was Sade. We used to chill every day. We had a lot of classes together. Like, she was always super cool, mad calm, like the calmest spirit ever. She had actually sent me a text last week, pretty much just saying, hey, I really like the vlog that you did about boundaries. She was just really giving me my flowers, and for that, Sade, I really want to shout you out, girl. You don't know like how much your message or you reaching out to me and just you pouring your authenticity and how you really feel into the text messages, you really don't know how that impacted me in such a positive way. I have gone back and forth with myself continuously, like, I know I should be posting more consistently on my channel, but who the fuck is really watching it for real? Like, I don't see my channel growing, and you know, I don't see my tribe, or I don't see my video get into my tribe members the way that I need to. But shout out to you, Sade, because you really just pointed out that despite what I may be thinking, and even though doubts may get in my way at times, you really just confirmed to me and let me know and kind of gave me that validation that I didn't know that I needed to keep on going, and to let me know that no, my voice is actually being heard, and the things that I do say and my experiences that I do share is actually helping other people. And that's the only reason I'm doing this, for real. I really appreciate you for that. I appreciate you being transparent in a time where a lot of people don't like to tell other people that they appreciate them, or you know what, thank you for helping me, or you know, just thank you for genuinely showing me love. I think what really stuck out in the messages to me the most was the fact that you really reminded me of the me before I knew me, like before this new version. You reminded me of all the phases that I have been through in life. Just pretty much let me know, like, yo, you always had this light to you. You always had good energy. You always just radiated something. Looking back, I didn't know that my light even used to shine back then at all, because I was so insecure and I didn't know who I was, and I was like a people pleaser and a little bit of a follower back then. So for my light to still shine, and for me to hear that I still had some level of authenticity even before I really embarked on my spiritual journey or got to know myself, I'm so grateful, and I'm so happy and thankful for you. And I'm even more grateful that, you know, God puts it on me to just share my story. And I thank you for being one of those people to just let me know, like, hey, I heard your story. I've seen your growth. I've seen your transition. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. I'm rooting for you, and keep going. So Sade, I really just want to give you your flowers in this individual vlog. It touched me at a moment where I needed that angelic touch. And like I told you already know you're an earth angel as well. So I just appreciate the bond, and I appreciate you for being there on my journey even before my journey began. This vlog is dedicated to you. Sade gave me a list of suggestions, and it was so in sync and in alignment with a lot of the topics that I had planned on talking about anyway. So this really just expedited it. So shout out to you, girl. Shout out to you. Okay, today's video is going to be all about love and relationships, and really how to date as a spiritual person. I have been wanting to talk about this for so damn long, because on Instagram there's a lot of like love coaches, relationship coaches, and relationship experts. I feel like sometimes the advice that they give is good advice. It's rooted on a good foundation or a strong foundation. However, most of the advice that's given by these coaches and these gurus, they do not apply to spiritual people. And this is just my personal opinion, and I'm gonna tell you why. For example, Sprinkle. Love her content. Find her amusing. A lot of the things she said is valid, but I also realize that she speaks from a earthly perspective, if you will. Yeah, we're all humans and we live on earth and we have to indulge in material things such as money, material gains and stuff like that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. However, we are spiritual beings first before we're anything else. Spiritual being is so vitally important that you do things in alignment with your spiritual self. And dating is definitely something that is not excluded from that. Trust me, it took a while for me to figure this out. Let's talk about relationships. I have been in a plethora of, I don't know what those were, because I was just in an unhealed, unhealthy space. Let's start the conversation off like this. Dating in 2023 has become not only challenging, it has become quite confusing. It's just crazy out here. Most of us have given our hearts to the wrong person once or twice. Or if you're like me, you've done it over 10 times. But it happens, it's okay. I want to let you know there's hope for you. It's all right. When it comes to relationships are so difficult in 2023 because people have not truly established a foundational relationship with themselves. Like so many of us, we are still going through our childhood traumas. Like for me, my childhood trauma is both my parents were married, got a divorce, and trauma just built on when, you know, one parent just kept having kids left and right. The parent badmouth the other parent and say they don't love you, they don't care about you. Kind of experiencing separate traumas with each individual parent as I got older. So this might be a little off topic, but not really. Like when I was in my 20s, that's when a lot of my childhood trauma started coming up. And I think that's actually very normal for most of us. For some reason, when you're like 18, 19 or whatever, you still got like an illusion cloak over your eyes. You haven't really experienced the world yet, but it's something about once you hit 20, early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, you really start to reflect on your childhood and your childhood traumas. In my opinion, I feel like that is triggered by failed relationships that are currently happening, recently happened, or in the process of occurring for you. You notice that trend of you keep dating the wrong person over and over and over again, or you keep getting hurt, or you keep getting betrayed. Like at some point, everyone has to stop and be like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Where did this start? Why am I accepting this? Who told me it was okay to accept the bare minimum? Who told me it was okay that disrespectful behaviors or actions or words or intentions was normal? And then when you start to think about it, like, well, how the fuck did I even get in this situation? How did I even get in this relationship? Because me in my right mind, I would have never gone for this in the first place. I'm gonna explain how you usually get to these situations. Usually it's because there's something from your childhood that you have not realized, identified, and have thus begun to choose to start healing and working on. Like, just to kind of put my business out there, because I ain't that girl no more, but I used to have this thing where I would only fuck with who didn't have as much as me. On my mental capacity, niggas who had no emotional availability. Why did I do this? Definitely was doing that shit subconsciously. So when I started to kind of think about my childhood traumas and I observed my parents' relationships with other women or men, that's when it kind of dawned on me. Well, one, I keep going for men who are not on my caliber because that's what I see both of my parents doing. Date bottom of the barrel bitches. I guess because they were easier to control, easier to manipulate, easier to be like, oh, well, you gotta do what I say, or you gotta move how I want you to move if you want me to give you this bread. I definitely grew up seeing that behavior very young, into my teenage years, into my young adulthood. Both of my parents were super ambitious together, and individually they're very ambitious go-getters and they're hustlers. They about their bread. But when it comes to who they choose to date and interact and associate with and procreate with, niggas don't be up to par. If you grow up your whole life kind of seeing this type of behavior, you gonna think that shit is normal and acceptable. And I really did fall into that trap. We all go through it, because if I could go back and talk to younger me right now, I would tell me to leave. I would have took all my father's money and invested into my businesses a long time ago. But when you're young and dumb, from a spiritual standpoint, okay, because that's from an ego standpoint, when you're young and dumb and you just don't know what the fuck you're doing. From a spiritual perspective, when you are young and you have not yet experienced certain contrasts in your life, you're probably gonna fall into the contrast because you don't know what the contrast really is until you experience it. And then once you experience it, you're like, oh, that was some fuckery. Okay, now we know. Now we got that contrast under the purse, under the belt. We don't gotta do that shit no more unless you really just enjoy the contrast. Just saying. I had many failed attempts with relationships. And I would get a little better as far as picking the next person, but they wouldn't be emotionally available or they wouldn't be mentally mature enough to deal with a spiritual woman who's on her spiritual path of enlightenment, but not only to enlighten myself, but enlighten other people. Let's just say that the girl went through a lot of trial and error. I didn't even know how to date. To me, dating was what I saw other girls around me doing. Like, I didn't know about vetting people. I didn't know how to take my time and get to know people. I can honestly say I was highly impulsive when I was younger. I see you, I like it, I want you, we go together, and that's that. And I always used to get my way until I didn't get my way, and then I would walk away. Such as life. And it's all because I really desperately wanted to be loved, or the illusion of being in love, but I've never till this day experienced what it feels like to be genuinely loved back. When I came to that realization that I'm just giving, and I'm not even getting back a quarter in return, like that shit was so frustrating. Like I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired and being frustrated and feeling used and feeling undervalued. My last relationship, I was dating a Gemini. And this was the second Gemini I dated back to back. So
woo, that'll do it. You don't have to worry about me. You do not have to worry about me.
That'll do it. So after that, I was just like, look here. You ain't got to worry about me. It was July of 2021. Prior to me getting into that relationship, I had been said, like, I need to be celibate. I need 3 months by myself, not talking to nobody, not dating nobody, no nothing, just to get my head clear. Because pretty much throughout my whole 20s, I was always in a serious relationship. This is a bit off topic, but not really. So celibacy, right? I have been celibate for 2 years, going on 3 years. I don't know why in my mind I thought I was at 3 years already, but you know, when you're not getting dick, you start losing certain senses. That is true.
I haven't had no sex.
Ago. And at that point, I actually decided, since I was supposed to be celibate or kind of take a break before I even got into that relationship, I decided after that relationship, I was just done. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to entertain nobody. I don't want to date nobody. I'm not having sex. Nothing. And it's been 2 years since I've been on this wave, and that is crazy to me. If you knew the old me, like I was dead ass a hopeless romantic. I always had to be in a relationship, or I always needed to be surrounded by people because I didn't enjoy my own company and I didn't want to be alone. Like I did not want to be alone back then. To go from not wanting to be alone and jumping from relationship to relationship just to have somebody so I wouldn't have to experience loneliness, to then going 2 years without dating, without talking to anybody, without being in a relationship, and without sex? Look at God. I never even would have thought I really had it in me to be so disciplined. For years, I had been trying to be on the type of time I'm pretty much on now. Never worked. I would always end up being tempted by another relationship. Was so proud of myself and so happy that I actually stuck to my guns this time, because I have grown like rapidly in the last 2 years. Your intuition is telling you something. It's always for a reason. So listen to your intuition when you are in these relationships. And something else that I've learned, kind of tying back into sex, something that I've learned is that when you are sexually active and you're around somebody and you can't come, they're not aligned with you. Like, they're not equally yoked to you. Also, I learned this with sleep. Like, when you're around somebody and you really can't sleep around them, something about their spirit or their energy is just not in attunement or in alignment with yours, and it's causing disruption. So really pay attention to other people's energy for real. Like, pay attention. I may do a video on celibacy. If that's something y'all want, drop a comment if you want to know like what my experience is like. Because the only videos I see about celibacy, they all come from Christian channels. Like, this is no shade to the Christians, but I'm tired of that shit. How come you don't see spiritual people or regular fucking people or people from other religious or spiritual backgrounds talk about celibacy? I don't like that. I don't like that. Like, I don't see a lot of relationship advice for spiritual people. Month of September, since it's cuffing season, obviously, we just gonna do a whole relationship series to bring in the fall cuffing season. Whether you're cuffed up or not, cuff yourself. Cuff it, cuff it, cuff it, cuff it, baby. While I'm cuff it, cuff it, cuff it, cuff it, baby. Oh, baby. Anytime, I don't mind. No. Anyway, karaoke moment. Anyways, now that I done talked your ears off about my experience with dating, I can definitely say that I'm qualified enough to talk about what a healthy relationship looks like and what an unhealthy relationship looks like. So let's get into it. I am a firm believer. The only way you can be in a healthy relationship is if two individuals who are in that relationship, one, know who they are as an individual human being having a spiritual experience. Two, this person has developed and established a healthy, loving relationship with themselves. That means this person has created and established boundaries to protect themselves and their own energy. This person has contributed to healthy practices on a daily, weekly, monthly basis that improves the level of respect and love that they have for themselves. People are going to invest into themselves by pampering themselves, by working out, most importantly, having morals and principles. We gotta talk about the relationship that we have with ourselves. I could honestly look back at my past relationships and see why they were unhealthy because I had never established or took the time to figure out or do research as to what a healthy relationship should consist of. Since we live in a world of contrast and trial and error, you will go through these experiences so that you get to pick and choose and learn what you do and do not like, what you will and will not tolerate, what you find disrespectful and what you find admirable. Certain characteristics and qualities that you want in a person. But in order to know these things, you really do need an understanding of yourself. I had dating all fucked up because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know the basics of what I required in a relationship. When I really took getting to know myself seriously, started cutting people away and spending more time getting to know me and what I really like without the influence of the opinions of other people, I learned that things that matter most to me is how I'm treated, people's morals, and the way your mind works. As you can see with the social media experiment, something that seems like it's common sense or it's moral based, a lot of people don't have that moral compass. A lot of people don't have common sense. A lot of people don't have spiritual awareness to understand not only themselves but the world that they're living in. For me, I realized that was a detriment to me and the energy that I bring around people because I'm somebody who likes to believe I'm very knowledgeable about the world around me. I'm still learning things every day. You know, life is full of adventure and discovery. But because I'm very aware, because I made sure I understood the world that I was living in to the best of my abilities, I personally can't be with somebody who's mundane, who doesn't have a fucking clue. I can't be with somebody trapped in the matrix. I can't be with a sheep. I can't be with a follower. I can't be with somebody who's brainwashed and indoctrinated into illusions and falsehoods. I cannot do it. Because when I start being that beacon of light and the truth starts spilling, whether I intentionally mean to speak the truth or not, the truth is gonna come out for me. It's if you can handle it. First thing is being with somebody that is unequally yoked to you and you're literally dimming your light or you're dumbing yourself down just to hold a conversation with that person. Like, that's something I will not do again. I used to be a little bit too humble to the extent of I understood that not everybody was spiritually awakened yet, because I was really one of the first few people to awaken. Shout out to my book. You really have to understand who you are, because if you don't know who you are, like, granted, you're gonna grow and change, but how you gonna attract or align with things that's right for you if you don't even know who you are? How are you gonna know what will best mesh with you if you don't know your protons from your neutrons or your electrons? I don't know. So for me, when it came to dating, I just had to realize that a lot of my dating practices were learned behaviors from other people who do not have healthy relationships with themselves or other people that they're in relationships with. So I had to do a lot of evaluation and introspection. A healthy relationship is a relationship where, one, you could just be yourself for real. You shouldn't have to put on a mask to be with somebody. You shouldn't have to put on a mask to attract somebody's attention. You should not have to put on a mask to keep somebody around. You cannot do anything in this world to keep somebody in your life. You know why? We all have, what's our favorite word? Free will. So people gonna do what they wanna do. Now what I wanna do, I wanna be with somebody who wants to use their free will to wanna be with me, to wanna stay with me, to wanna build with me, to wanna invest in me, to wanna pour into me, just like I wanna pour into them, so that everybody's cup is overflowing, so that we can continue to pour into the chalice of love, period. Me observing my upbringing, and due to my childhood traumas, like some of my childhood traumas was not being seen, not being heard, speaking and feeling like people are blatantly ignoring you or blatantly overlooking what you have to say, or acting as if what you have to say isn't of value or importance. People who, I guess, invalidate your feelings. Growing up realizing that validation can be a drug, and to some extent we do need validation, and to some extent we should not be driving on validation. You know, gotta find that healthy balance in between everything. So for me, growing up, not really receiving the validation that I needed, not really receiving the attention that I needed, or always speaking my truth and speaking my authenticity, or people just brushing it off or be like, whatever. Because of that, I realized that I attracted a lot of relationships where I would speak to these people, what I'm saying is going in one ear and out the other. And I'm gonna give you an example. Like, you know how I always tell y'all, like, I always warn people before I cut them off? I really do. But it just dawned on me recently that because people aren't really listening to what I have to say, like, people wanna have me around and people wanna ask me a million questions about what they should do or how can I help them, but when it comes to me, like, dropping jewels or speaking my mind or expressing myself, I've often been ignored, like completely ignored. What matters to me now is being not only seen, being felt, and being heard. I want to know that what I'm saying has some level of importance to you. Even if you don't fully get it, it's because I'm telling you something. What I'm realizing, people will be around you for their own reasons, their own gain. It's not always just money, it's not always just sex, even though those are usually the foundations as to why people want to be around you. Sometimes it's just for the feeling you provide. Sometimes it's just because people don't want to be alone. I've been there, so it's definitely normal. It's a real feeling. Like, and be like that. You gotta understand, one, why do you want to be in a relationship? Why is a healthy relationship important to you? A healthy relationship is super important to me because I didn't see my parents have a healthy relationship while they were married. I have not seen the full extent of an example of what I would like a healthy love to look like, but I also understand it's up to me to create that healthy love for myself so that I can see it. It's super important to me that when I am ready to start having children, that I have children with a man, emphasis on man, not a nigga, okay? There is a difference. And I am ready to bring life into this very interesting realm of a world that we live in. I really wanted to make sure that I understood who I was. I wanted to make sure that I developed a healthy, loving relationship with myself, which I definitely have, and it's definitely something I'm working on day by day. I want to be with a man who loves himself. He has taken the time to figure out who he is as a man, as a human being, having a spiritual experience here on earth. I want this man to be healed from his own childhood traumas. I want this man to be financially responsible. I want this man to have a light energy. I want him to radiate lightness just like I radiate lightness. I want him to have an amazing character. He treats himself and he treats other people with respect. He treats people how he wants to be treated, high regard, with balance. Obviously, I don't want a man that's a pushover. You got to be in tune with your shadow as much as you are in tune with your higher self in a balanced manner. I want my mirror. You know what I'm saying? I want a man who knows his role as a man. I want a man who is a provider. He's emotionally intelligent. He's an effective communicator. I want a man with morals and standards and a code of ethics. Because when you date people who have healthy characteristics lead to healthy patterns. Healthy patterns leads to healthy behavior. Healthy behavior leads to healthier communication. Healthier communication leads to a safe space. And in my opinion, as long as two human beings feel safe within themselves, they can freely come together with someone else who also adds that sensation of safety net or security to their lives, and then everyone can be in kumbaya and harmony together. It doesn't mean you're gonna have disharmonic moments. Life is all about contrast, the ebb and the flow, the up and the down. It is what it is. But if you're dealing with somebody who's got good characteristics, has a great personality, somebody who's an effective communicator, somebody who wants to do this thing called life with you, whether it's for a season or many seasons or many lifetimes. I feel like that's something that we should all want and nurture, but it really all starts with self. Healthy relationships comes with knowing that you ain't perfect and that person ain't perfect, but this is somebody that you're willing to go through life challenges with. We all kind of need somebody to go through challenges with. As much as I'm a loner and I'm accustomed to doing things by myself, and I get it done well by myself, ultimately I understand I'm not meant to be alone forever. So it's like, yeah, I've been enjoying my quiet season. I've been single for 2 years, celibate for 2 going on 3 years. Thank you, Jesus. I want some dick. I do. And I love me some head. Period. Just not in a place where I'm as pressed for temporary pleasure at the risk of putting myself back in a place that I've worked so hard to come from. Like when I first moved to Dallas, I was fucking broken. And it wasn't just from the bullshit I was going through with my family. It was from all those years of my 20s being in failed relationships and giving to people who were not worthy of what I was giving. And that's just when Mary had a little lamb. Definitely a part of healthy relationships is self-forgiveness. The past 2 years, I've been working diligently on just forgiving myself and doing a lot of reflection as to, well, why the fuck were we even with Timmy and Bobby in the first damn place? Oh, okay, because we didn't really want to be alone at that time. At that time, we had false fear of what being alone meant. At that time, I believed that being alone meant that I wasn't good enough, or I was ugly, or I was incapable of keeping a man. And I just want to say, from my trial and error days, most of these niggas, because let's be real, I had never dealt with a real man in my life. I was dealing with straight niggas. Let's just start there. Let's believe, let me find a real man. He mine. Niggas just carry nigga energy, and you gotta know that. Nigga energy don't have nothing to offer. Nigga energy don't think of shit long term. They barely think of next month, let alone next year. This is for everybody. And men are for themselves and for the women that they choose to entertain. Healthy relationships, to me, in my opinion, you won't really find or be in the vicinity of a healthy relationship if you yourself are toxic. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. You might be able to attract something good for the time being, but your negative ways is just going to repel it. This is why self-healing, doing the self-work on a daily, consistent, weekly, monthly, yearly basis makes all the difference. Oh, child, I just been going on a rant, and I feel like I don't know if I even talked about anything. By me being in your life, I'm there to drop gems and drop jewels and teach you certain things. But in order for you to truly receive the full impact of the lessons that I bestowed upon you, I kind of have to leave. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know why God set up the game like that, but that is the trend in my life. Here for a short time, we're gonna have a good time. I'm gonna drop these dimes, these nickels, these gems on you, and then I gotta go. I gotta move on to my next class, or I gotta move on to my next show, or whatever. And that's okay. I've honestly made peace with that, and because I made peace with that, I go into every relationship, any connection, I go into it being my authentic self. So if I don't leave this video off with nothing, I want you to know that, yeah, you may have been hurt time and repeatedly back to back. And I want you to know that give yourself time to heal. And the best way to heal is not to have any distractions. You do not heal from relationships by jumping into another one. It don't work. I done wrote the story, published the book, the audio book, did the seminars. It don't fucking work. It does not work. You have to heal. I'm gonna start off with a couple of clients for the month of September, because this is a part of me stepping into my full purpose as your destiny advisor. I am so passionate about connecting and talking to people. I'm actually super excited because that is something that I will be doing this month of September. My calendar is open and I'm here to help. You want to live your dream life? You want to boss up? You want to grow? We gotta start with the root of things. We'll cry it out, we're gonna talk it out. I would really personally like to do video calls, but if you're not comfortable doing that or you want to remain anonymous, we can definitely just get on a regular traditional call. Whatever feels more comfortable to you, but I did want to just publicize and advertise that my services are now open for business. And yeah, I'm really excited. I wonder who my first client is gonna be, because we gonna cry. And you gonna get the best of me, okay? And I actually want to give you a free gift as well for being my very first client ever for the month of September. To close off this vlog, definitely healthy relationship with yourself is imperative. People who genuinely love you, they gonna want to be with you. It's one thing to hold somebody accountable, and it's another thing to just point the finger and guilt trip because you want somebody to feel bad or second guess themselves. No, we don't do that. Really healthy relationships, it's so spiritual before it's physical. It's not even funny. Like, spiritually, everybody just needs to be aligned and in tune with themselves, their own destiny, their own purpose, or at least pouring into themselves in a way that is propelling them forward. That's all I have for today's vlog about healthy relationships and dating as a spiritual person. Some tidbits and points. Of course, I always have more things to talk about, but y'all know I really don't be writing shit down. I always speak from the heart. Even when I write shit down, I don't read from it. I just don't. So if you are interested in booking a one-on-one Destiny Advisor session with me for the month of September, definitely, I really want to say shoot me a DM, but I'll be blocking y'all. Because when y'all be on some weird shit, like if I go on your page and it's giving stalker, if it's giving somebody that I used to know that I no longer want to know on somebody's fake page, I'm gonna just block your ass. So don't be weird. Please be sure to use your regular social media pages. Shoot me a DM and then we will exchange contact information from there. And then we can discuss payment and all of that. It ain't gonna be nothing too crazy because we are in a inflated balloon right now. So I'm not gonna kill y'all pockets, but you know, gotta pay your girl for the time. The energy's free, but the time isn't. So I look very forward to speaking with y'all, my clients. I'm so excited. Finally taking this leap of faith. I am scared shitless, but I know it's gonna be great because I do this all the time. I literally change lives every day. I don't know why I'm so scared to do it on a grand scale, but it's just because it's something that I always wanted to do, and the spirit of fear has been trying to keep me, but I'm loose. Unhand me Anyways, thank y'all for watching this video so much. I hope you find it resourceful. Drop some blue emojis in the comment for this blue milkmaid dress that I made. I know I didn't really show it off much today, maybe in the intro a little bit. And can you believe I made this at the beginning of summer and it's now September and we finally put it on? By the way, I had ran out of fabric. So I had used this fabric instead, but it actually turned out great because I think it looks super cute. Super cute. But anyways, y'all, thank you so much for watching this video. I love y'all. Fuck with y'all. Subscribe to my channel. Ain't gonna bite you none. Plus, you really gonna want this healing and evolving that we got going on here. So if you have any suggestions for my next video, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love y'all. To my next vlog.